Hey guys, and welcome to the Command Tower, where we make EDH deck techs. If you enjoy these videos, make sure to like and subscribe. Today's deck is going to focus on getting a ton of energy counters, and then once you've got the energy counters, just benefit off of them. So our commander is going to be Chulane, Teller of Tales, because you get energy counters from creatures most of the time. So he has Vigilance, and he says whenever you cast a creature spell, you draw a card, and you put a land from your hand onto the battlefield. You pay 3 and tap him. You turn target creature you control to return his hand. So you're going to be playing a lot of creatures, getting energy counters, drawing cards, and ramping from him. And it's just a whole lot of value. And the total price of this deck is $20.19, and this is according to TCG Player, does not include basic lands. So let's get right into the deck. First off, we got ramp. Since Chulane wants you to cast creature spells, we're going to have a lot of creatures that ramp you. But also, since Chulane can return creatures to your hand, we're going to have a lot of enter the battlefield effects. Sylvan Ranger, when it enters battlefield, you get a basic land into your hand from your library. Satyr Wayfinder, when it enters battlefield, you reveal the top 4 cards of your library. You put a land card from among them into your hand. Wood Elves, when it enters battlefield, you search the library for a forest, put it onto the battlefield. Yavimaya Dryad has Forest Walk, and when it enters battlefield, you get a forest onto the battlefield tapped. And Farhaven Elf, you just get a basic land on the battlefield tapped, and Wild Wanderer is the same. Springbloom Druid, when it enters the battlefield, you can sacrifice a land, and then get 2 basic lands onto the battlefield tapped. Elvish Rejuvenator, when it enters the battlefield, you look at the top 5 cards of your library, put a land from among them onto the battlefield tapped. Coiling Oracle, when it enters the battlefield, reveal the top card of your library, if it's a land, put it onto the battlefield, otherwise put that card into your hand. And then Servant of the Conduit, when it enters the battlefield, you get 2 energy counters, and if you tap it and pay an energy counter, you add 1 mana of any color to your mana pool. Then we got cards that give you energy counters when they come into the battlefield. They may not do much else, but they can just help you get a lot of energy counters. Thriving Turtle, when it enters the battlefield, you get 2 energy counters, and when it attacks, you can pay 2. If you do, put a 1 counter on it. Eddy Trail Hawk, flying, when it enters the battlefield, you get 2 energy counters. When it attacks, you can pay 1. If you do, another attacking creature gets flying until end of turn, which can be really useful, because we'll talk about some big creatures later. Aether Swooper, flying, enters the battlefield, you get 2 energy counters. If it attacks, you can pay 2 energy counters to create a 1/1. Genji Sentry, enters the battlefield, same thing. If you tap it and pay 2, you can tap or untap target artifact or creature. Aether Theorist, enters the battlefield, you get 3. You tap it, pay 1, scry 1. Bristling Hydra, you get 3 when it comes in. Then you pay 3, put a 1 counter on it, it gains hexproof till end of turn. Multiform Wonder, you get 3 when it comes in. And you pay 1, gains your choice of flying, vigilance, or lifelink till end of turn. If you pay 1, you can get +1, +2, -2, or -2, +2 till end of turn. Aether Tide Whale, very good card for the deck. Flying, when it enters battlefield, you get 6 energy counters. If you pay 4, you return it to your hand. And you can there's a couple cards that have blink effects in this deck. So if you just blink this and then bring it back in, you'll just get a ton of energy counters. Pima Aetherseer, when it enters battlefield, you get an amount of energy counters equal to the greatest power among creatures you control. If you pay 3, target creature blocks this turn to Fable. Then we got some flicker effects. Since there's so many creatures with enter the battlefield effects, we're going to exile them and then bring them back to the battlefield. Felidar Guardian, when it enters battlefield, you can exile another target permanent you control, then return that card to the battlefield under its owner's control. Flicker Wisp, flying, when it enters battlefield, you exile another permanent, return that card to the battlefield under its owner's control to be your next end step. Mist Meadow Witch, if you pay 4, you exile a creature, and then you return it to the battlefield at the end step. Then Soul Hoarder, when a creature is exiled from the battlefield, put a 1 counter on him. At the beginning of your end step, you can exile another target creature you control, then return that card to the battlefield under its owner's control. Then we just got some other cards that can give you energy counters, but just not when they come into the battlefield. Greenbelt Rampager, when it enters the battlefield, you can pay 2 energy counters. If you can't, you return it to your hand and you get 1. Aether Storm Rock, flying, whenever it or another creature enters the battlefield under your control, you get an energy counter, which can be really, really useful. Get a lot of energy counters from that. When it attacks, you can pay 2 energy counters. If you do, put a 1/1 counter on it, and tap up to 1 target creature defending player controls. Imperial Voyager, flying, trample. When deals combat damage to a player, you get that many energy counters. Consulate Turret, you can tap to get an energy counter. You can tap and pay 3, and it deals 2 damage to target player, which you'll probably just tap it to get the energy counter. But if someone is really low on life, you can deal 2 damage to them. Evolution Sage, whenever land enters the battlefield under control, proliferate. So basically you're going to play land, and then you're just going to get another energy counter. Then we got cards that benefit off of you having energy counters. Long Tusk Cub, when he deals combat damage to a player, you get 2 energy counters. If you pay 2 energy counters, put a 1/1 counter on him. Electrostatic Pummeler, it's a fun card. When it enters the battlefield, you get 3 energy counters. And if you pay 3 energy counters, it gets +X/+X till on turn, where X is power. So if you really wanted to, you could add a bunch of spells that make this guy bigger, and then you could just make him unblockable, and you could just deal a ton of damage. Now I don't have those cards in my deck, but if you wanted to change this deck, that's probably what I would change, and then this guy could just kill somebody very easily. Aetherwind Basker, trample. When it enters battlefield or attacks, you get an energy counter for each creature you control, which is going to get you a lot. And if you pay an energy counter, it gets +1/+1 till end of turn. So you can just make this guy huge when you're attacking somebody, and you'll deal a ton of damage. Architect of the Untamed. When a land enters battlefield under your control, you get an energy counter. And if you pay 8 energy counters, you create a 6/6. Consulate Surveillance. When it enters battlefield, you get 4 energy counters. If you pay 2, you prevent all damage that would be dealt to you this turn by a source of your choice. Confiscation Coup. Choose target artifact or creature. You get 4 energy counters. Then you can pay an amount of energy counters equal that permanent's converted mana cost. Gain control of it. So you can just gain control of the scariest artifact or creature on the board. Deadlock Trap. Enters the battlefield tapped. And when it enters the battlefield, you get 2 energy counters. You tap and pay an energy counter, tap target creature or planeswalker. Its fate abilities can't be activated this turn. Aetherworks Marvel. Whenever a permanent you control is put into your graveyard, you get an energy counter. And you tap and pay 6 energy counters, look at the top 6 cards of your library, and cast a card from among them without paying its mana cost. So this can just provide a lot of value, so you're just getting stuff out for free. And Ganthi's Aetherheart. When it or another artifact enters the battlefield under your control, you get 2 energy counters, which is not a lot of artifacts. But then if you pay 8 energy counters, you can exile it and take an extra turn after this one, which is going to be super useful. Then we got what I like to call the combo. It consists of 3 cards: Fabrication Module, Animation Module, and Decoction Module. Fabrication Module is whenever you get 1 or more energy counters, put a 1/1 counter on target creature you control. If you pay 4 and tap it, you get an energy counter. So you're going to get the 1/1 counters from that. And then Animation Module. Whenever 1 or more 1/1 counters are placed on permanents you control, you can pay 1. If you do, create a 1/1 servo. And then you can pay 3 and tap it, and choose a counter on target permanent or player, and give that permanent or player another counter this kind. So then you're going to pay a mana, and you're going to get a 1/1 servo. And then Decoction Module is whenever a creature enters the battlefield under your control, you get an energy counter. And then if you pay 4 and tap that, you return target creature you control to his own hand. So it's just a combo where you're just going to keep getting energy counters, 1/1 counters, and 1/1s for as much mana as you have. And it's just going to be super helpful. So then we got some cards that can help you get those artifacts onto the battlefield. Trinket Mage. When it enters the battlefield, you search the library for an artifact card with a converted mana cost 1, and put it in your hand. And Tribute Mage is the same thing with converted mana cost 2. And Trophy Mage is the same thing with converted mana cost 3. And then we just got some card advantage. Tezzard's Gambit, draw 2 cards then proliferate. Glimmer of Genius, scry 2 then draw 2 cards and you get 2 energy counters. Arrow of Innovation. Whenever an artifact and Artificer enters the battlefield under your control, you can pay 1 and then get 2 energy counters. Which, there's not that many artifacts, but the good part is you pay 6 energy counters and sacrifice it to draw 3 cards. Plane-wide Celebration. You choose 4 and you can choose the same mode more than once. You can create a 2/2 that's all colors. Return target permanent card from your graveyard to your hand. Proliferate or gain 4 life. So probably either going to proliferate to get more energy counters or 1/1 counters, or you're just going to return permanents from your graveyard to your hand. Muldrifter. Flying. When it enters the battlefield, you draw 2 cards. It's got Evoke. so you could flicker that, or it's just good to get cards with Chulane. And Cloud Blazer, it's kind of the same thing. Flying, when it enters the battlefield, you gain 2 life and draw 2 cards. Soul of the Harvest, whenever another non-token creature enters the battlefield under your control, draw a card. Rogue Refiner, when it enters the battlefield, you draw a card and get 2 energy counters. Shielded Aether Thief, Flash, and when it blocks, you get an energy counter. And then the really good part is tap and pay 3 energy counters and draw a card. Then we got removal. Wanderer Strike, exile target creature, then proliferate. And Fuel for the Cause is the same thing, but you counter a spell. Disappearing Act, adds additional cost to cast it, return a permanent you control to someone's hand. Then you counter a spell, which may not sound good, but a lot of stuff you want the enter of the battlefield effect, so returning it to your hand is going to be nice. Reclamation Sage, enters battlefield to destroy target artifact or enchantment. And Acidic Slime is the same but it's Death Touch. And Fairgrounds Warden, when it enters the battlefield, to exile target creature opponent controls until it leaves the battlefield. These are all creatures because you just want to get to draw cards, and then you can flicker them also. Chroma's Vengeance, destroy all artifacts, creatures, and enchantments, cycling for 3. Sunblast Angel, when it enters the battlefield, destroy all tapped creatures. And Aether Squall Agent, probably one of the best cards in the deck. Flying, at the beginning of your upkeep, you get 3 energy counters. And then if you pay 8 energy counters, you return all other creatures to their owner's hands, and activate this ability only as you can cast a sorcery. So basically, you are gonna hurt from this, because it's gonna return your creatures too, but a lot of your stuff wants to enter the battlefield. So you're gonna return it to your hand, and you're gonna play it again, and it's just gonna benefit you more than it's gonna benefit your opponents. And a lot of stuff when it enters, you get energy counters. So you're gonna get energy counters, and then you could use this ability again, and it's gonna be super good for you, and it's gonna hurt your opponents a whole lot. Lastly, we've got lands. These are all just the guild gates that tap for the guild's colors, and they enter the battlefield tapped. And then Meandering River, Woodland Stream, Tranquil Expanse are all the same things. And Tranquil Cove, Thornwood Falls, and Blossoming Sands are all the same, but you gain a life when it comes in. Evolving Wilds, tap it, sacrifice it, search your library for a basic land card, put on the battlefield tapped, and shuffle your library. Terramorphic Expanse is the same thing. Aether Hub, when it enters the battlefield, you get an energy counter. You can tap for colorless, or you can tap and pay an energy counter, and add 1 mana of any color. And Command Tower just adds 1 mana of any color. Then we got 8 islands, 7 plains, and 9 forests. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like and subscribe, and have a great day.